Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back and checking me out here on the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the situation with Joe Montana, it being a mobile game first and then transitioning to the PC, and we're definitely going to talk about it here just a bit. Now, I'm going to take a different approach. I'm not going to do the obvious reaction and, basically you guys saw what happened today when the news came out. I'm not going to take the obvious approach. I have a different perspective that I want to address, and I may be getting to this as well on the show tomorrow, just to give you guys an update. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with the show, whether I stay at E3 until 5 when it closes. Of course, that's Pacific time. That would be 8 p.m. Eastern. And then in that case, when I get to the airport, I'm sure I'll be able to call in before the show, is over. What I may do as well, depending on how the day goes, I'm going to get out to E3 early tomorrow. I may leave early, plan to leave early so I can get to the airport in enough time to still do the show. So we'll see how that works. Of course, my plane doesn't leave until 10:45 p.m. so I have a long time to wait either way. But we'll keep you updated with that. But what I want to talk about, man, I want to talk about the position in which, Damon Groh kind of placed himself in. Now, let me say this as well. There's no need, guys, there's no need for you guys to lash out at Damon Groh and be upset with him in terms of the game not coming out. If what he told us is true, he has no control over that. He's more so, a guy who's helping with the game and somewhat of a liaison to the community. Can't really be mad at him. I'm sure he's not the end-all be-all in terms of the game. But what you could look at, and this is the perspective I'm going to take, the approach in which he, approached the sim community. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. If you remember way back when the speculation first came out, we got a surprise phone call from Damon Groh. We embraced him. All of us did. He reached out to guys on Twitter. Great. All right? So he, definitely took the approach of reaching out to the sim community. Azure Effect said specifically, I know we all mentioned it, but Azure Effect brought it up first. The point that he made about the game is he said he felt as if it would not be a mobile product. And the reason why is because the sim community doesn't or hasn't been playing football outside of a console. There are some guys definitely that play Madden 08 on the PC, of course. It's not a huge crowd, but that is, there is a community there. But let's keep it real. The guys like myself and Smitty and Virtual Footballer and Azure Effect, DJ81 and Moody and all these other guys. We're all console gamers. Console gamers. We never talk about technically, like I said, with the exception, I know Virtual has definitely played Madden 08 on PC, but let's keep it honest. When Virtual Football, when Virtual Footballer talks about football, it's mainly console. So let's get that clear now. And when Azure Effect said that, that was one thing that he was banking on, saying that it's probably not going to be just on PC, or I'm pretty sure it's leaning towards console, because why even come at this community and try to get our hand or our support when we're not mobile gamers? And that's the question I would have to ask. I don't blame you for reaching out, but even though you can't make the decision, this is where it gets cloudy, because I'm like, okay, well, if you know that and you can't say so much, why come after a community that is not going to be happy when the product is unveiled? Now, granted, who knows what happened? Who knows if it was just supposed to be mobile from the beginning and then go to PC as he stated? Who knows? Maybe they had a plan. Maybe they even tried to get the NFL license and couldn't get it. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, this is cause and effect. You see what happens when you don't keep it transparent with your audience. Like we always said, the sim community were the guys who were paying attention to Joe Montana, not casual gamers. So we were the audience. And I understand, and like I said, I'm not putting it all on Damon, because he can only do what he can do. But whoever makes the decisions, this is a lesson learned. This is why you tell the community exactly what you plan to do. If you would have done that from the beginning, we would have had our opinion about it being on the mobile. platform, but we would not have been upset. We would have just been like, hey man, they get it on the mobile platform, maybe it's a good game, you know, we'll support it, we'll play it as an alternative. If they would have just said that. If they would have just came out and said we're going to be mobile first, you know, we definitely want to get over to PC, and then maybe, you know, if we get enough support, maybe guys, we can get on the console for you. That's how you get the, you know, the community behind you. That didn't happen, and that's why today, and I'm sure it's still occurring right now, there's so many dislikes on the video with the interview where he's telling this lady about the game. And see, that's what happens. And now what you've done, you've pushed people away now. Now people are going to be looking at you with a side eye. And here's the irony of the whole thing. If you look at what's shown in the trailer, you know, in that interview, I guess you can't really call it a trailer, but there's pieces and segments of gameplay. If you look at it, the game doesn't look that bad on the surface. Graphics look pretty good. You know, we saw the stiff arm again. You know, the player movement and the interactions, you know, from what we saw, it was a little bit, but it didn't look half bad. You know, the grass and stuff, and, you know, even like the walkout, it looks like they're kind of taking a little bit from Backbreaker, how they, you know, you could see behind them as they was walking out of the tunnel or walking through the tunnel or whatever. But it looked fairly decent. So imagine if you would have told us what it was from the beginning, then we see that. The conversation today would have been like, whoa, that's just on mobile. Imagine what they might be able to do later. But now, nobody, you know, it's like crying wolf. Nobody's going to believe you when you come out and finally say, oh, we really do got the game now. Nobody's going to trust you. It is what it is, man. But like I said, it's a sad day because we all want competition. You know, as some of you guys may be able to tell now, a good amount of you anyway, Madden is coming, man. You know, Madden is definitely improving. You know, of course, we can always get into the argument of how fast and this, and that, and the third, and that's not what this is about. But, I mean, obviously the game is improving. It's getting a lot of positive feedback. And Azure, like he said, again, to reference my man Azure Effect, in a minute, it's going to be hard to catch Madden. It's going to be very hard to catch them, man, as these years continue to progress. That's just keeping it honest. You know, based off of the information that I know, that of course I can't share as far as future, but come on, man. In a minute, it's going to be hard for anybody to catch them. This is the opportunity, and that opportunity is shrinking. That window of opportunity is getting oh so small. So those are my thoughts, man. You know, of course, you know, I had the same obvious feelings as well, like, you know, the community. And this is why, guys, I don't care what game comes out, even if it's a game that always comes out, wait until you are able to see what the game is and have the facts before you run off with it. You know, it's just because in this community, it was, you know, the football gaming community, it was so much going back and forth on OS and all these other places, and for what now? But anyway, man, I just had to do that real quick, guys. This is my last official night at E3 here in the hotel. I do have a day tomorrow, and, you know, I'm actually ready to get back home, see my family and all that. But go ahead and figured I'd give you this one. It probably won't come up until tomorrow, which will be Thursday. You know, the Wi-Fi is a little crazy in this hotel. I've been running the Starbucks on the corner to get my videos up. But stay tuned, man. I got a lot more coming for you guys. Hopefully, you know, I have more Madden footage to show you as well beyond this point. So just stay tuned. I appreciate all the support, guys. And those are my thoughts. So leave your thoughts. Leave a comment. What the heck? Hit the like button. All right, guys. Until next time, let me know what you think.
Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And if you want to interact with me live, come on by SimStandard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. If you want to give us a call, you can reach us at 914-338-0794. Of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. All right? Until next time, lights out.